Welcome to the world-renowned Invest in Her podcast with your host, Catherine Gray. Catherine is a keynote and TEDx speaker, author, executive producer of the movie Show Her the Money, also CEO and founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. Our weekly show of powerhouse women, founders, funders, and changemakers is sure to inspire you. Let's go.
Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and the co-founder of She Angels Foundation, as well as executive producer for Show Her the Money. And we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to talk to a founder that wants you to show her the money. She has an ingenious idea that's going to revolutionize the fertility industry. So let's welcome to the show the founder of Co-fertility, Lauren Makler. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. I'm doing great. It's lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad our mutual friend Lata connected us. When she told me what you're doing, I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to have her on Invest in Her, and let's talk about this ingenious idea you have to really revolutionize the fertility industry." So let's get right to it and talk
Yeah,
about it, and then we want to talk about your background and how what led you down
yeah.
this road. So first of all, what is co-fertility and how does it work?
Yes. So we give women the opportunity to freeze their eggs for free when they donate half of the eggs retrieved to intended parents that otherwise can't conceive. So we are both making egg freezing more accessible and making egg donation less transactional at the same time.
I
Uh,
love that. So a woman, she's young, she wants to freeze her eggs, but I take it it's super expensive.
It is. So we know that the number one reason why women don't move forward with freezing their eggs is the cost. We often say the best time to freeze your eggs is when you can least afford it, right? It is when you have the greatest egg quantity and the best egg quality, and yet it is just out of reach for most women. It costs between $15,000 and $20,000 to freeze your eggs in the US.
Wow.
And storage is also the like surprise fee that ends up being an additional $500 to $1,000 a year. And so that
Yeah.
is just crazy, right? It's this amazing science that exists that enables people to like freeze their fertility in time, right? And it's not a guarantee, it's not an insurance policy, but we know that the more people who do freeze their eggs earlier in life, the more likely they are to be able to have a child later on. And it shouldn't be out of reach, right? And so we felt that we needed to do something to bring down the cost of what is otherwise something most women really want the opportunity to do. And at the same time, we felt that traditional egg donation is just falling short of what intended parents need. And it's
Wow.
falling short on a number of levels. There is a massive lack of diversity in the donor population from traditional egg banks and egg donor agencies. And it's really hard to find donors that are ambitious and highly educated, which intended parents are typically looking for a donor who is as unique as they are. And what we found is that much of this is actually rooted in cash compensation, which is the traditional model of egg donation, where a donor is paid anywhere from $10,000 to, frankly, $100,000 to donate her eggs, depending on how hard it is to find a donor with that background. And so, what we realized is that a lot of women would actually really be interested in helping grow another family, but they actually feel really off put by the idea of getting paid, right? This idea of cash compensation actually stigmatizes egg donation and makes women feel somewhat like they're selling their body. And so we felt that if we take cash compensation out of egg donation entirely and instead give women the opportunity to freeze their eggs for free and we actually give them storage for up to 10 years free, then
Wow.
we're taking out the thing that is preventing women from donating altogether. And so we launched Co-fertility actually in 2022, and we have been live. It'll be 4 years in October, and it is working. We have had thousands upon thousands of women apply to donate, and we're now starting to see co-fertility babies being born to intended parents who needed to use a donor to grow their family.
I love this. So first of all, you're coming to us from LA. Is
Yep.
this something that is being done in LA, or this you can do all over the country?
Yes, it is available nationwide, and we have partnered now with over 100 fertility clinics across the US. So we are not the clinic ourselves, but we partner with existing fertility clinics who already have the clinical infrastructure, and we help make the match between the woman who's interested in egg freezing and the intended parent who needs an egg donor.
Wow. So, young woman hears about co-fertility. She can go freeze her eggs
Yep,
for free and store them for 10 years
yep.
for free if she gives the other half to freezing for, families that
Yeah, for an
have
intended,
infertility and cannot
yes,
otherwise have children. What
exactly.
a
So
beautiful scenario.
thank you. It could be for someone who struggles with fertility challenges, yes, right? Oftentimes we see, people who've gone through failed rounds of IVF or have diminished ovarian reserve, but also a huge part of our intended population are same-sex male couples, right? Or, members of the LGBTQ community who need the help of a third party to have a baby, right?
Of
That's
course,
just
that makes perfect sense. I love that.
yeah. So we just fundamentally believe that anyone who wants to be a parent deserves to be a parent. And we know that to make that possible, third party reproduction needs to exist. And we feel that this is the most evolved and thoughtful way to do that, that's really honoring everybody that's involved in the process.
Now, how do you monetize that? Is that the intended parents, like let's say it's two gay men want
Yep.
to have a child, they would come and pay for that service, and so
Yes,
that's how it works. That's how it
exactly.
monetizes. Did
Yep.
I guess that right?
You did, spot on. So they are paying Cofertility a coordination fee to help find the donor, screen the donor, manage the entire process of the clinic end to end, as well as covering the cost of the egg freezing cycle and the storage for the donor, which when you compare that apples to apples with other egg donation programs out there, they're paying less than what they would pay elsewhere because they're not paying cash compensation to that donor.
I see. So it saves them money, but it helps monetize this process so that the women can donate for
Yeah.
free
Yes. And
and benefit
ultimately,
from having all of that for themselves as well. So it's a win-win.
exactly. And ultimately, we find that it's really growing the pie of women that are interested in egg donation because we're not really competing with other egg donation companies for the same donor who is doing this for an income source. Instead, we're finding donors who otherwise are just, interested in egg freezing, right? They are people who think, wow, what a really nice way to do something for my future while also helping someone else grow their family at the same time.
Right. It's a win-win for sure. And I would think also that, um, they're freezing it for themselves because they can't afford that. So, what a beautiful problem you're solving there. On the other end of it, the recipients of the other half also being fortunate to be able to start their family. I mean, it is just a total win-win. How did you come up with this idea? I can't believe it didn't exist before.
It's so funny how often I hear that. I can't believe this isn't how egg donation has worked before. Or we actually hear a lot from reproductive endocrinologists or physicians in the space that, oh, I had this idea years ago and, I really wanted to do this. And that's, egg sharing, that's what we call it as a concept is not new. Like we did not invent this. It happens in small pockets all over the world, actually, on a clinic level where maybe they find an intended parent to match with a donor and, the model exists, but no one has done it at scale in a way that actually has a chance at replacing what status quo egg donation is. And so we're really just the first to think about it, and by the way, I should have mentioned before starting Co-fertility, I spent nearly a decade at Uber. And so I'm very familiar with how to sort of leverage network effects and grow. Um, it's at its core, it's a little bit of a marketplace, right? Where we have to have, enough intended parents and enough donors that are interested in doing this to make the whole thing work, right?
Just like Uber has the drivers and then the people that need the
Exactly.
service. Got it.
Exactly.
I
And
got the
so
correlation.
there's similarities there. And my co-founder, Hallie, and I just really wanted um, to really take something that we knew could work and is showing sort of signals of working, but do it at scale and do it in a way that really is disruptive. And so didn't invent it, but the first to do it at scale. And really, it's a hard business, right? We're not selling widgets, right? Like we're doing something really complex and meaningful that has a lot of emotions wrapped up in it. And we built like a tech-enabled platform that also uses real people to provide the care that our members deserve. So it's a little bit,
Oh, tell me about that. That's an interesting part of it.
yeah.
So you have a tech-enabled like app?
Yeah, so it's a tech-enabled platform that works both on, web and mobile. So it feels like an app, but it's
Yeah.
on a mobile web browser.
Cool.
But essentially, we have our own platform that gets women through a really complex application and review process, right? Because you do have to clinically qualify to donate. And we have to get people through that application process and review that application. And then we serve that application up to intended parents as a profile on the matching side. And so intended parents create an account with us and they're able to look through donor profiles to say, this donor feels like a perfect fit for us, and we're going to move forward with this match.
Cool. So Co-fertility has a tech platform that allows people that are out there listening who are thinking, hey, I'd love to freeze my eggs and not have to pay for it and help another family. They just go to cofertility.com, is it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And they just fill out a profile and see if they're a good
Yeah.
fit for a match for
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And then if they're a family wanting to have eggs from a donor,
Yep.
to have a family that they can't otherwise have, they come on and fill out their criteria and what they're
Yeah.
looking for and about them. And then part of your service is that you match the two.
Yes, yes. And we have a matchmaking team actually that works with intended parents who maybe want some additional support in learning about the process and understanding what it means to work with an egg donor. Will guide you through that process and then also make personalized donor recommendations so that it can be daunting to look through hundreds of profiles. And we always have hundreds of donors available to match with intended parents. And so our matchmaking team helps to sort of demystify that a little and help point them in the right direction and
I
help them
love
get
that.
there. Yeah.
So you hand walk them through it.
Yes. So that's on the matchmaking side. And then once they make a match, every match is assigned a member advocate on our team who helps facilitate the whole process with the clinic and a number of other like details throughout the process. So
I love that hand.
you're never alone.
Yeah. So, and you're still raising for this company?
So we closed our Series A earlier
Great.
this year, and
Bravo.
thank you. It's been very exciting, but always open to conversations with strategics and angels who are. I think we always want people who are more than just a check, right? I think that
Mhm.
people who really believe that this business needs to exist and grow and have ways to help do that, whether it's through mentorship or relationships or things like that. We're always very open to it. So,
Those are the best
um,
investors, aren't they?
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Well, I think the work you're doing is incredible. What is your vision of growing this? Like, what are your targets?
You know, I believe that, I mean, we clearly have some product market fit, which is so exciting. And now it's just a matter of of growing this thing, right? Like my hope is that egg donation is something that we can really destigmatize and, doesn't have to be this like taboo secret, right? Like there is no path to parenthood that should ever feel shameful. And so to really bring it out from the shadows and be open about these conversations when it is a way that so many people are already growing their families, we just really want to make it something that's like out in the open. And then having it be that so many women are able to freeze their eggs that fewer women need an egg donor someday, really.
So right now you're in you're aligned with how many fertility
Worked
clinics?
with over 100, and there's only about 500 clinics across the US. So growing those relationships and just, we're making matches between intended parents and donors every day and just wanting to scale that.
Wanting to scale that from over 100 to maybe doubling that or tripling that. As
Yeah,
far as
I mean, yeah, and not even like we can just keep doing more cycles at those same 100 clinics because we do
right.
have a footprint that's extended across the US at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're happy to get the information out there and love that your background was helpful. I always think everything we do in life leads to what we're meant to do. So I
totally.
could see how that community building at Uber, helped lend itself to what you're doing now. And it's great that you're doing this all over the country. Very exciting and love helping you get the word out there.
Thank you so much. Yes, check out cofertility.com whether you are interested in freezing your eggs or looking for an egg donor. We're also on Instagram. I'm at Lauren Makler, and just excited to connect with more people in the space.
Yeah, I take it you're on LinkedIn.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes. So for those that are just listening in and not watching, I want you to know Lauren spells her last name Makler. I, of course, too, am on LinkedIn, Catherine Gray, Catherine with a C and Gray with an A. If you want to check out Co-fertility, it is cofertility.com, right? Is there a
Yes,
dash in there or anything?
no dash.
No dash. Okay, good. And of course, you can find us both at sheangelinvestors.com. We have lots of free resources there, so you can learn about investing and getting funding. Also, our movie site, showherthemoneymovie.com. So thank everybody for coming and listening to this incredible company, of course, started by amazing women. And always good to know about these companies like this that are out there that you could invest in at some point. So I imagine, you'll be taking investments again in the future. And so that'll be exciting. But what a cool scenario. Great that you're scaling it. Love what you're doing. You're making such a tremendous difference in the world, helping so many people build families. And just thank you for being here and being a wonderful guest.
Thanks for having me and thanks for doing what you do.
Thanks so much. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time to tune in. We hope you found this very helpful and that you'll tell others about it as well. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Make it a great day. Thanks for the great interview, Lauren. Take care.